Right, this is Huanglong National Park in the winter. It's called Huanglong, which means yellow dragon, because it has these amazingly blue turquoise pools, many of which are geothermal hot springs that are actually kind of pouring out of the land here. In the winter, a lot of these pools freeze. You can see we're kind of walking what's called the travertine section. It's kind of the geological term for these pools that kind of end up creating these little flat kind of terraced areas. So yeah, we're about halfway up through Huanglong Park, about 2 hours up to the top and about 2 hours walking down. Normally there is a cable car, but today the cable car is either broken or doesn't work because of the cold, but we're happy to be making our way up. So plan for about half day, at least 4 to 5 hours in the park if you're going to see the whole park. Probably the most beautiful pool is at the very, very far end of the park, called Wucai Pool, or 5-color pool, also called multicolored pool. That's probably the most famous and beautiful. So definitely make your way up to that. And we're probably about halfway to that particular pool, walking along this ice river. We got up about 8 o'clock, and about 8:30 in the morning, we found one restaurant that was open in all these places that serve baozi, or Chinese-style dumplings. Those are pretty good. Nice way to warm up with some soy milk doujiang. So yeah, that's what we did this morning. That was breakfast. Dinner options were pretty limited last night to a few Sichuan places and some yak meat hot pot. Once again, most of the restaurants were closed for the winter. So probably the best time to come to Jiuzhaigou and Huanglong National Park, they're kind of twin sister national parks, about 2 hours apart, is the fall time. Okay, this is the entrance to Huanglong National Park, about 30 minutes from Chonjusu, where we stayed last night in our hotel. It is cold. It's 3,200 meters above sea level. Same elevation as about Qinghai Lake in Qinghai province. So this is the ticket booth. You buy the ticket and then you take a little bus to take the cable car up to the very, very top of the park. And then you walk down a boardwalk, walking back here to the ticket gate. All right, this is Yingbing Pool. This is certainly not the biggest pool, but it is the first pool you come to as you're walking up from the ticket gate. Hey, this is my wife. Yeah. Well, family vacation. It's Christmas time.
Hello, everybody.
That's Rose. my wife, we're doing a little adventure in Georgia going Huanglong. So this is Ingbing Pool. You can see behind me, it's really beautiful, it's flowing. I was thinking that maybe they'd all be frozen, but actually it's nice that there is a little bit of warm water come down here and you can still see some of the main colors of this pool. This walk up these steps here, these wooden steps.
This ice is going pee-pee. Do you see it?
As far as altitudes, you're looking at about 3,200 meters at the bottom of Huanglong National Park, going all the way up to the top at the 5 colored pools at 3,600 meters. So if you do the steps either up or down, you can do them both ways, then you're going to be getting about 400 meters of total vertical altitude over about 3 or 4 kilometers. So that's each way. So just take that into account. The distances are not super long. They're very doable with kids. Just took my 9 and 11-year-old kids out here. They were totally fine with it, but they did have to take it slow with the altitude. So keep that in mind. I'd say this is very family friendly as far as a travel destination, but you might be moving a little bit slower with those high altitudes. Okay, we've arrived at the upper monastery here. We're only about 220 horizontal meters from the farthest point of the park, which is the Wusai, or the 5 colored pools. It's supposed to be the most beautiful part of the park, and we are excited to be there. Been walking about 2 hours up the steps, and probably be there about 15 minutes. All right, guys, this is it. The reason we came to Huanglong National Park today, the 5 colored pools. It is absolutely gorgeous. The sun just went behind the mountain because it's super late in the winter time. And you can see the beautiful monastery behind us. We're gonna fly our drone right here, and you're gonna see these beautiful geothermal pools of Huanglong National Park. As far as facilities, Huanglong National Park, easily one of the nicest national parks I've ever been to. This is just one of the many, many bathrooms. It's probably a bathroom like this almost every 100 or 200 meters along the trail. The trail is all paved boardwalk, so don't expect super wild wilderness. This is not backpacking the John Muir Trail or some element of wilderness, but they've done it really, really well. This is a classic Chinese national park. What I really like about this park actually is that they haven't included a bus system. Usually you pay a park ticket and then you pay a bus ticket and then you just ride around on a bus and take a bunch of pictures. They've actually made this more of a walking situation, which I really, really like. You can either walk all the way up as we did, so about 2 hours up, then 2 hours down, or you can take the cable car up and then kind of walk all the way down and actually lose your altitude rather than gaining altitude and then losing it again and seeing all the same stuff. So I like that it's a walking national park. I like the facilities. They've done an incredible job with the bathrooms. There's actually flush toilets, real sitting toilets here, which is very unusual for China. So that's a big win for me as an American. And the facilities are nice. There is a restaurant at the bottom if you need lunch or food. I found throughout the winter here, everything was kind of reduced down to a skeleton crew. Even the cable car wasn't running today. And so there wasn't really any food or any amenities available along the walk. So we brought our own snacks, which is good. So I highly recommend you do bring your own snacks. Lots of places to sit, lots of bathrooms, lots of amenities, but not overdone that it feels too urban. Obviously they have a couple million people come through here every year to Huanglong National Park. So they got to provide for that scale of people. And they've done a good job for preserving the environment with these wooden walkways because you're not traipsing through all the really sensitive environments of the calcium zones of the deposits from the geothermal pools. Really love Huanglong National Park. Highly recommend giving it a go. If you're in the Zhejiago area or if you're in Chengdu or Xining, highly recommend this as a couple day trip from Chengdu or Xining. Totally awesome national park. As far as best time to visit Zhejiago and Huanglong National Park, highly recommend September, October. Fall is really, really nice. Even November is nice here. You have some really, really vibrant yellows and reds and oranges. Just a spectacular fall. Definitely one of China's best leaf peeping areas as far as fall tourism here. So fall is probably hands down the best time to come. But I will say October holiday, October 1 through 7, the national holiday of China, tends to be totally swamped with tourists. You have sometimes 20,000, 30,000 people entering Zhejiago National Park. They actually have to limit the amount of people that enter the park every day and cap the amount of tickets. So it's a highly in-demand park and you have a lot of tour buses coming through here. I would not come during the summer because you're going to have a lot of crowds. I would also not come over October holiday, but after October holiday, I think you stand to have a pretty good chance of having fewer crowds and good views of the fall. Obviously, we chose to come here in the absolute low dead season, which is the colors are a little bit more muted here, but so thankful and still beautiful, still worth a visit in the winter. I will say we got up in Chengdu this morning and it was about negative 15 degrees Celsius, so be prepared for some ultra cold temperatures. The sun just went down and I got my puffy jacket on, my gloves, and yeah, it is just bird chilly right now. You only get about 4 or 5 hours of really good sunlight in the winter, so be aware of that. Shorter days and colder temperatures, but otherwise with a lesser amount of tourists, I also recommend coming in the winter as well.